Welcome to Aurum Aesthetics, where timeless English country elegance meets spring's gentle bloom. In today's video, explore every charming corner of a vintage cottage garden. If you love peaceful beauty and refined rustic style, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to join our graceful design journey. A quaint English cottage greets us with its charming stone facade, draped in climbing roses. Soft pink blooms frame pale blue shutters, while wildflowers sway gently along the gravel path. A weathered iron gate stands ajar, inviting us into this enchanting country sanctuary filled with vintage beauty and spring bloom. The garden entry welcomes with cobblestone paths bordered by old urns brimming with buttercups and sweet peas. Lavender lines the walkway, while a rustic picket fence peeks through flowering hedges. Ivy climbs an aged brick wall, and a mossy bench rests under fluttering bunting. It's springtime serenity in full form. To the side of the cottage, a lush flowerbed bursts with peonies and forget-me-nots. An antique wheelbarrow overflows with petunias. A faded watering can leans beside stone steps softened by moss. Above, honeysuckle weaves through iron trellis. Each detail whispers nostalgia, grounding us in timeless English garden beauty. A glass conservatory kissed by sunlight reveals lace curtains swaying in the breeze. Inside, floral cushions and vintage wood furniture blend with fresh-cut tulips. Botanical prints line the walls above rattan baskets filled with tools. Ivy trails the windows as spring spills in, marrying comfort and countryside elegance. Behind the cottage, a delicate nook blooms. A white iron table is set for tea with porcelain cups and layered pastries. Pink geraniums and alyssum create a floral border. A lace cloth drapes gently, and clematis climbs the trellis. The scene evokes a timeless afternoon in a painter's garden. In a quiet garden corner, a small shed stands sage green and lovely. Ivy clings to the roof. Inside, tools hang from wooden walls. Seed packets and clay pots fill the shelves. A straw hat leans against the door. The whole shed feels like a storybook moment frozen. A kitchen garden thrives with herbs and spring greens. Raised beds overflow with chives, lettuce, and blooming rhubarb. Wooden tools rest on an old stool. Bees dance above wild thyme. A picket fence curves in the background, dotted with morning glories. It's a fresh, fragrant tribute to rural tradition. On the back veranda, a rattan chair cradles a floral cushion. Wisteria in soft lilac drapes the beam above. A teapot and books sit atop a vintage side table. Crochet throws add texture. A birdcage lantern glows softly. Every corner hums with quiet joy and effortless rustic grace. In the orchard, apple and cherry trees bloom with blush petals. Beneath, daisies and dandelions cover the grass. A lace cloth stretches under a tree for a spring picnic. A vintage jug holds lilacs. The breeze stirs the branches. It's a dreamy storybook scene full of renewal and charm. From the back, the cottage shows its wild side. Ivy hugs the walls. Blue shutters open to lace curtains fluttering in the wind. Daffodils frame the path. A mossy bench waits beneath a blooming dogwood. The countryside stretches beyond, whispering elegance and authenticity through every petal and weathered stone. The courtyard holds a mosaic fountain at its heart, surrounded by azaleas and irises. The sound of trickling water soothes the air. Moss creeps along the stone base. A bench tucked into the hedges offers a tranquil perch. Each corner sings with color and classical garden charm in spring's embrace. A tucked-away arbor blooms with clematis and wisteria. Ivy trails its wooden beams. Beneath it, stone pavers guide the path, bordered by bluebells and chamomile. Ceramic urns spill peonies onto mossy ground. It feels untouched, secret, as though the garden itself is sharing a long-forgotten countryside love letter. The garden's pergola arches in bloom, layered with roses and floral vines. Beneath it, a gravel path winds between weathered benches. Hydrangeas and sweet peas fill the air with scent. Vintage lanterns sway from beams above. The space is pure poetry, an intimate blend of architecture and nature's hand. On the veranda, delicate latticework frames the view. Jasmine weaves through the beams, filling the air with soft fragrance. Iron tubs cradle vibrant blooms. A birdhouse hangs above a stack of books. Wicker baskets rest in shadow. Time slows in this garden haven, where every detail feels tender and lived in. Past a stone wall, a wildflower meadow opens. A bistro table sits at its edge, surrounded by tulips and crocuses. Antique lamps flicker gently. The air is thick with birdsong and honeyed light. A sense of rural magic infuses every shadow, bridging cultivated beauty with nature's untamed palette. A narrow path lined with lanterns curves through beds of lavender and sweet peas. Violets bloom at its edge. Stone steps rise and fall gently, bordered by moss and ivy. Weathered signs point whimsically. It's a space that begs to be explored slowly, each footstep revealing another quiet, lovely treasure. The fountain returns, framed by hedges and surrounded by peonies. Water sparkles under morning light. Ferns and wildflowers fill the air with scent. Cracked pots lean together artfully. The whole space feels curated by time, where nature and design coexist in a reverent, endlessly elegant seasonal harmony. At the far corner, a bench rests beneath trailing roses. The stone table beside it holds a teacup and hand-woven cloth. Marigolds, lavender, and blue irises bloom nearby. The backdrop of ivy and aged brick makes each color glow. It's a perfect place to pause, listen, and breathe countryside calm. A wide view shows the full garden stretching toward the horizon. Rose arches lead to clipped hedges and flower beds in painterly pastels. Iron lamps and mossy steps give depth. Every layer tells a story of care and heritage. The land breathes with quiet confidence, a lived-in canvas of spring. The front returns, peaceful in evening light. Blue shutters catch the glow. Roses frame the door. A carved wooden column supports a floral awning. Lace flutters in the window. This final view reminds us of the season's promise. A gentle welcome, a slow life, and enduring English countryside elegance. Thank you for joining us in this peaceful walk through spring's countryside beauty. We hope you feel inspired by every vintage detail and floral touch. If you enjoyed this journey, please leave a comment, and subscribe to Aurum Aesthetics for more refined, elegant home inspiration. See you next time.